What's up, Falcon fans? Can the Atlanta Falcons prevent the New Orleans Saints to spoil our victory in Week 10? Because back in 2012, where the Atlanta Falcons started 8-0, but when we traveled to New Orleans in Week 10, they beat us to 31-27 to give us our first loss of the season. And by the way, they also had an interim head coach in Joe Vince after they fired interim head coach Aaron Cromer due to Sean Payton being suspended for the whole season due to Bounty Gate scandal. If you guys like this type of content, hit that like button. If you guys hate this type of content, hit the dislike button. We'll hurt your boy's feelings. Well, maybe just a little bit. But if you want to do a huge favor for your boy, by hitting that subscribe button, it will help out the empire grow. So on that note, let's just dive into the video and let's start out with the New Orleans Saints situation. So this video will be a little bit more different compared to the other videos. Instead of giving stats and statistics, I just want to give you the operation of what's going on in New Orleans because Dennis Allen was fired on November the 4th, where he had a 2-7 record, and now they got the interim head coach and Darren Rizzi, who I was trying to look up some information about this guy to see if he's an offensive guy or a defensive guy, but apparently he's a special teams coordinator dude. He's also respected around the NFL, especially in Miami and of course New Orleans. I don't know anything about special teams people, so I was trying to look even deeper. And apparently he does have some coaching status, but that's in college. Back in 1999 through 2001, he was the head coach of New Haven, a 15-14 record. That's not good. And he had another stint of a head coaching job back in 2008, where he was the head coach in Rhode Island, 3-9. That's pretty terrible. But then again, I don't know the situation they had over there. That's just me looking out, looking in, or something like that. I don't know. But the new interim head coach in Darren Rizzi pretty much stated that everything and everybody will be evaluated, reevaluated. Plus, he said he will keep the same offense and defensive coordinators in Clint Kubiak and Joe Woods. So pretty much nothing's gonna really change when it comes to what they've been doing so far, even though he says he's gonna bring in more passion and more heart. Even though they only got rid of Dennis Allen, I don't know how much that is a significance. Then again, I'm not a New Orleans Saints fan, so I don't know them as a New Orleans Saints fans would. So I don't know if it would change at all or anything like that. I mean, you know, your guess is as good as mine, Falcon fans. But speaking of that, when it comes to the player side of the field, that's very interesting to look at. Derek Carr, the New Orleans Saints quarterback, is coming back from injury from the last time he played football was against the Kansas City Chiefs, where he injured his thumb or hand or something, but then he came back against the Panthers. So it was like a 2 week, 3 weeks hiatus. I can't quite remember, but I mean the new interim head coach did stated that he should be playing. So I know there's been speculation. Will they sit him out for the rest of the season for Spencer Rattler? I don't know. And of course, Alvin Kamara is definitely going to be the feature back. He's been doing pretty good this season, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has like 2 games with over 100 yards rushing, and then, you know, he's been doing really good in the receiving end. I think he has like 6 touchdowns in the run game and at least 1 or 2 receiving touchdowns. I'm not quite sure, but I do know he's almost close to 700 rushing yards and close to 400 receiving yards to boot as well. Injuries have been devastating to New Orleans, especially to their star power and Chris Olave, who has a concussion and he's questionable of playing. I don't think he will be playing, because he took a nasty, brutal hit to the head. And of course, Rashid Shaheed is on IR. And so they're also, their defense, especially in the secondary, is really banged up. Unfortunately for them, not for us, of course, because, you know, Paulson Adebo, I didn't know he was in IR. Kool-Aid McKinstry, he's questionable as well. Rajon Wright was also put on IR, and then Ricardo Payton is questionable as well. And let me not get started with the offensive line, where 7 of their guys are either questionable or in IR. But this is one of the reasons of telling us why the New Orleans Saints have lost 7 games in a row, because 21 of their players have been put on either IR or questionable a weekly basis if they're going to play or not. And that's not a good formula for you try to win games, because there are certain plays or there's certain ways how you try to win games if you don't have the right pieces set. It's just like chess. If you don't got the right pieces or you misplace them, and the opponents can take a full advantage of that, and that's how you lose a lot of games like this. And some of these games were pretty close, but unfortunately when you don't have that certain type of player out there, it changed the whole dynamic. So now let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons side of the ball. This is absolutely a revenge game for the Atlanta Falcons. For what the New Orleans Saints did to the Atlanta Falcons, where they embarrassed us, where everybody were making fun of us, for what they put on that scoreboard 48-17 when they should have kneeled and we thought they were, but no, they went ahead to get the final score. Embarrassing at all fronts, but we did beat them first time matchup 26-24, but that's not the point. The point is we go marching in their territory, and this time we will demolish them, because the only time that Kirk Cousins did not throw a touchdown was against the New Orleans Saints. I expect that to change rapidly, because now Kirk Cousins is more familiar with the system. He's more comfortable with his wide receiving core, with the tight end core. The run game is a little bit more balanced now. For the past couple of 2 weeks, Kirk Cousins has been finding touchdowns in the end zone with 7 so far, 4 against the Buccaneers and 3 against the Dallas Cowboys. So I am very confident enough he can find a depleted secondary against the New Orleans Saints to go ahead and get it to Darnell Mooney, who has been a boss. We can't forget about Kyle Pitts or Ray McCloud, because they're both capable receivers getting after the ball and making big yardage down the middle. And of course, Drake London, we have to manage his situation because he is banged up, so he's questionable. But if he doesn't play, don't worry, because Kader Hodge is very capable of beasting and feasting. We've seen him doing it last season, and we've seen him doing it this season as well. So I'm very confident in that. And when it comes to the defense, finally we got after the quarterback. Now let's be consistent with it, because we have to, because Derek Carr, and then of course Taysom Hill is gonna have a lot of run plays. But my only concern is that the Atlanta Falcons cannot stop the run game, and we know that we gave a huge leeway to the Dallas Cowboys, even though they ranked dead last in total running yards. Unfortunately, we gave them a really career day. But besides that, we're really aggressive. The only injuries we do have to worry about is Troy Anderson, our linebacker. By the way, the last time he played against any other team was against the New Orleans Saints, so he's been out for a couple of weeks. And of course, Grady Jarrett, who just got injured last week against the Cowboys, where we got confirmation today that his injury is not that serious, so he might be able to play this upcoming game. So what is the final verdict? I have the Atlanta Falcons finally sweeping the New Orleans Saints 27-20. Now, let's not get it twisted. This is going to be a dogfight. Both teams hate each other with a passion, with grit, with energy. Doesn't matter what kind of record both teams are facing, good or bad. This will always be a tough, contested fight to the very end. But I do feel like the Atlanta Falcons can pull this off because of two factors. Because I think we have a better offensive juggernaut powerhouse right now. And of course, I think our corners and our defense is going to be a little bit more aggressive compared to the New Orleans Saints. So on that note, if you guys lasted this long to the very end of the video, thank you so much for taking your own personal time and day to watch these Falcon content videos. I have more here on the screen for you guys that are interested in. So what do Falcons do? Rise up. Until the next episode, show love and peace to the world, and peace.